All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something you see literally every day, but probably never think twice about. It's this tiny little interaction online that, believe it or not, tells a huge story about who and what is on the other side of your screen.
You know this one, right? Verify you are human. How many times have you seen this? Hundreds? Thousands? You click a box, maybe you pick out a few pictures of a bus, and you just move on. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered why? Why does the internet need you to prove you're not a machine over and over again?
Well, it's because that little prompt isn't just some random annoyance. It's a gate. It's actually the front line of this constant, invisible battle happening all across the web. And whether you know it or not, you're a part of it.
I mean, think about it. This simple request is pretty much universal. Doesn't matter if you're logging into your email in Tokyo, buying a concert ticket in London, or just posting a comment somewhere in Rio, you're getting asked to prove you're human. It's one of the very few digital experiences that billions of us actually share.
So, what's this invisible war I'm talking about? Well, it's a fight between real, actual users, like you and me, and these automated programs called bots. The internet is absolutely flooded with them, and a lot of them aren't friendly. And that's exactly why we need this digital doorman, basically, checking IDs at the door.
And this slide really breaks down the core difference. On the left, that's us. We're on the internet for a reason, right? To buy something, to chat with friends, to learn something new. Our actions are purposeful. But on the right, that's the bots. They are built for one thing, and one thing only: mass automated chaos. They aren't trying to do one thing, they're trying to do a million things at once. Scrape data, blast out spam, or just break things.
And the damage they cause is no joke. We're talking about bots creating millions of fake social media accounts just to spread misinformation. Or entire bot armies that can crash a website by just hammering it with traffic. That's what a DDoS attack is. And all the while, other programs are just crawling the web, scraping up your personal information from anywhere they can find it. So yeah, the stakes are way higher than you think.
Okay, so how in the world do you stop a super sophisticated computer program? Well, the genius of the solution is to give it a test that is almost laughably simple for a human, but for a machine, it's incredibly difficult.
And here's the secret sauce. These tests, which you probably know as CAPTCHAs, they totally exploit the gap between how we think and how a computer thinks. You see, when a computer looks at one of those distorted, wavy words, it just sees a jumble of pixels. But our brains are incredible pattern recognition machines. We instantly see a word or an object. We just get context in a way that code traditionally just can't.
So here's the play-by-play. A website throws a unique challenge at you. Maybe it's a weird word, or you have to find all the bicycles in a grid of photos. Your brain gets it in a split second. A bot, on the other hand, just sees a confusing mess. So you pass, the bot fails, and the digital gate just swings right open for you. Simple as that.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. This isn't a one-and-done solution. Oh no, this is a full-blown technological arms race. Because as AI gets smarter, the bots get smarter, which means the tests have to get even more creative to stay one step ahead.
And you've actually lived through this whole evolution. Remember those impossible-to-read wavy words? That was round one. Once bots learned to read them, we moved on to pictures. Click on all the storefronts. Then, when AI got really good at identifying images, we got the simple checkbox. Now that one was clever. It wasn't about the click itself, but how you moved your mouse. The slight wobble and curve of a human hand is totally different from the perfectly straight robotic path of a bot. And today, a lot of these tests are completely invisible, just analyzing your behavior in the background.
And this whole arms race just plays out in this endless loop. So, step one, a bunch of brilliant engineers design what they think is the perfect bot-proof test. But then, step two, it never takes long. Using machine learning, the bot creators train their AI on the new test until they learn how to beat it.
And that, of course, leads to step three. Our side is forced right back to the drawing board to create something even more complex, even more human. And the cycle just keeps going and going and going.
So this whole relentless cycle is pushing us towards a really fascinating and maybe a little unsettling future. For years, we've been defining these tests by what machines can't do. But what happens when that list of things gets shorter and shorter? What happens when the line between us and them just blurs completely?
I mean, just imagine a bot that can pass these tests with, say, 99.8% accuracy, or 99.9%. At some point, the difference is basically zero, right? What happens when our digital doorman is totally obsolete? When it just can't tell the difference between a real person and a perfect imposter?
And that leaves us with this huge, final question. That simple little prompt, verify you're human, it was always based on the idea that we could. But if an AI can write like us, create art like us, and reason like us, if it can pass every single test we throw at it, then how do we even define our own humanity in this digital world we've built? What does that little checkbox really mean then?